encourage your soul, enlighten your mind, and empower your faith. This is the Light Network.
You know what time it is, no matter where you've been. So let's do it again. Listen up and let the sun shine. Here we've got
Ghoul Training.
Because all ghouls matter.
And here's Daniel, Alan, and Joe.
Okay, one of our big holidays is about to show up on us on the calendar. Halloween. What would you do if you were born on Halloween? How would you feel about that?
I would be Nick Saban, because that's when he was born.
You got into my notes. That's right. You got into my notes. Yeah, that's when Coach Saban was born, and I've seen some videos. He really doesn't like people asking for candy. I think he even uses his favorite phrase when people get under his skin asking questions. He says something like, "Quit asking," kind of thing. So
sounds like a nice guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess he is. I don't know. He's born on Halloween, so I'll just leave it right there. But great coach, I can tell you that. But
I'd probably like to have him back.
Actually, I got a friend of mine. This is a little interjection. I have a close personal friend of mine. His son played for him. Got a couple rings, big SEC watch, and everything. I've seen him.
Oh, very cool.
From Arlo, yeah,
that's cool.
My buddy's been to his house. So yeah, coach is okay. It's just funny. He's born on Halloween. I think that's funny.
Yeah.
But what would you do if you were born on Halloween?
I'd probably do the same thing everybody else does on Halloween. At Halloween, I would.
Halloweena, would you say?
Halloween.
I didn't know you were Ivy League.
On Halloween, I'd probably get a costume and trick or treat or whatever everybody does on Halloween. That's what I'd do, I guess.
Okay. Well, for me, if I were born on Halloween, I'm like you. I would do what I've always done. When I was a kid, I'm older than you, but I used to have the smelly mask. You remember the plastic masks?
Yeah.
Oh man, probably so toxic. That's probably what's wrong with me now. But they all smelled the same. I was Batman, and this is a side note too. My parents, they were I was reared by older parents, and what they would call. They would never called it a mask. Mm-hmm. Might have been a Southern thing or a Kentucky rural thing. They called it your false face.
Never heard that.
Never heard that. Yeah,
either,
I mean, my parents were like, I was scared to death that they would say something like that at my Halloween party at school, like embarrass me. No, it's not. I don't have a false face. But my dad was like, okay, go get your false face, and we're going to go out trick or treating. So, little side, there's no charge for that, Joe.
Very interesting.
But I'm looking forward to our annual Ghoul Training episode.
Yeah. Well,
it's here.
It's here. We're doing it. And it's become a bit of a tradition that we have the Soul Training players come back.
Yeah.
And, of course, we've expanded that.
You're right. This year.
New and improved.
We've added some new people. Maybe you'll recognize some voices. Maybe you won't. I don't know. But I think at this point, we go to the show, the Soul Training Players Show. What do you think?
That sounds great.
Hit play.
Trick or treat. What goes around comes around. Scene 1. The smell of the field.
It began with a trick, a simple plan devised in the shadows of a mother's tent. Isaac, old and dim-eyed, was ready to bless his eldest son, Esau, the birthright son, the hunter. But Rebekah had another favorite, Jacob.
Jacob, listen carefully. I heard your father speak to Esau. He told him to bring him game, to prepare a savory dish, and then he would bless him before he dies.
But, Mother, Esau is hairy, and I'm smooth. My father will touch me and think I mock him. I'll bring a curse upon myself, not a blessing.
Your curse be on me, my son. Just do as I say. Go, fetch 2 young goats. I'll prepare your father's favorite dish.
So Jacob obeyed, and Rebekah disguised him.
Here, Esau's best garments. Smell them. They reek of the open field. And these will fool your father's touch.
May God grant this trick success.
Who's there?
It's I, Esau, your firstborn. I've done as you told me. Sit up and eat of my game, that your soul may bless me.
How did you find it so quickly, my son?
Because the Lord your God caused it to happen to me.
Come near that I may feel you, my son, whether you are truly Esau or not. The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
Isaac hesitated. Then he smelled the garments, and his doubts faded.
Ah, the smell of my son is like the smell of a field which the Lord has blessed. May God give you the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. Let people serve you and nations bow down to you. Cursed be those who curse you, and blessed be those who bless you.
And just like that, the blessing meant for Esau fell upon Jacob. But even as Jacob slipped away, the sound of Esau's return was coming fast upon him.
Father, rise and eat of your son's game.
Who are you?
I'm your son, your firstborn, Esau.
Then who was it that came in before you? He deceived me and has taken away your blessing.
He has tricked me these 2 times. He took my birthright and now my blessing. Oh, Father, have you not reserved a blessing for me?
But it was done. The trick had worked, and Jacob fled for his life.
Scene 2. The trickster tricked.
Years passed. Jacob journeyed far, to his mother's kin in Haran. There he found something unexpected: love. At the well, he met Rachel, Laban's beautiful daughter, and from that moment, he was smitten.
I'll serve your father 7 years for you, Rachel. 7 years.
And serve he did. Through heat, through frost, through long days and cold nights, Jacob worked for the one he loved. And the 7 years seemed to him but a few days because of his love for her. At last, the wedding day came. But in that land, a custom ran deep, one Jacob did not know. Under the veil, in the dim light of the tent, the bride was brought to him, and Jacob, perhaps too eager, perhaps too trusting, did not see what others saw.
Ah, Rachel, my beloved.
But as the morning light broke through the tent...
Leah, what is this you've done? Laban, did I not serve you for Rachel? Why have you deceived me?
Jacob, it's not our custom to give the younger before the firstborn. You finish this week with Leah, and I'll give you Rachel also, if you serve me 7 more years.
And Jacob, the deceiver, stood silent, for the trickster had been tricked. He who once wore the disguise now faced the same fate, caught by shadows of his own making.
Scene 3. What goes around?
Jacob's story is one of blessing and struggle, of deceit and redemption. He learned that every trick leaves a trail, and what we weave in cunning may one day wrap around us. He had disguised himself to take what was not his, and later was deceived in the same way. Truly, what goes around comes around. But even through human trickery, God's purpose moved forward. For out of Jacob would come a nation, and through that nation, a Savior. And that was no trick at all.
So, what do you think? I think that was maybe our best Soul Training Players episode ever so far. Just getting better and better.
Yeah, we actually had people that knew how to act, I think, on that one. And I got to give it to you, Dan. I don't know if you noticed, Alan, but Daniel's pretty good at this.
He is. He's got some spunk. He's got some riz.
He does.
He's pretty good.
He does.
Yeah, he is good.
Well, yeah, speaking of...
Does that mean cool or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, Riz is slang for charisma.
Okay,
That's
see,
where the Riz comes from.
it's fine. It's fine. I wouldn't want to mislead you, but he's good. Yeah. Daniel's good. You could shoot maybe.
Well, it was the whole cast. Whole cast was great, but anyway, the story I thought was really cool. How it wove together this thread of deception and costumes coming back up in the life of Jacob, and how what kind of came around for him, and that I think we're going to mention some more possible costumes in the Bible, but just to jump to one application here, just in that story we just heard, people were trying to circumvent and cheat maybe God's plan, but ultimately that promise was going to go where God wanted it to go. You can't deceive God. You can't cheat God. And so, it goes through Jacob, and it's going to go through Leah instead of Rachel.
Well, I've got a question. And this, I'm going rogue. We didn't talk about this, but like things do, they pop in my head, and while I've got you, I make you answer while we're recording for the people. So Jacob's kind of a bad guy doing this.
Yeah.
Yet he gets all the blessings. That feels wrong. Is that an issue out there in greater Christianity, or maybe some critics of Christianity pointing to something like this? This guy obviously did something wrong. He stole, he lied, but he reaped all the rewards from it.
Yes and no. Part of it, I think we can see that God throughout history sometimes uses bad people or even good people doing bad things. Still, he can use those toward his purpose. We can't, even with our bad choices, can't thwart the purposes of God. But I don't think, as we saw in the skit that was just done for us, Jacob, he gets the blessing, but he doesn't get off scot-free on this thing. It comes back around to bite him pretty good in the situation with Rachel and Leah. And I think that's God's providential way of kind of punishing him.
Yeah,
for that.
That's a pretty big bummer.
I've heard it said that deception brings conflict, but God still works through broken people.
Very well said.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and it nearly destroyed his family. He and his brother weren't getting along. Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying.
What I'm going to share, or my little statement, is to Daniel's point and your point is, and this is not scripture. It's just not YouTube or not slang or anything. But I love one-liners and little things that make you think. But I've heard it said that life is like a boomerang. What you throw out, it will come back. It may take a while, it may not, but if you mistreat people or if you are deceptive, at some point it will catch up with you. You could talk about everything from, fudging on your taxes to misleading people and, and all those things and half-truths. And I'm not picking on my children, obviously. And you all have kids too, but I've learned, my kids are adults now, but I've learned when they were younger, middle school, especially high school, that you would always get the story in thirds. Just a little bit at a time. And I'm sure I did that to my parents too, and I'm not saying it's deceptive, but eventually, like all of us, we all have to face, so it's best not to deceive, Barney, Andy told Barney, he said, what a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive.
That's true. Your boomerang thing, my boomerangs always wound up on the roof. They never came back.
Yeah, my boomerangs always hit me right square in the forehead.
they did come back.
So I learned the hard way. It will get you.
We've got Jacob and Esau. That's one. He dressed up like Esau. Mm-hmm. But there's several other instances of someone dressing up. It's a Halloween-themed episode here, as Daniel likes to point out. Probably the only Christian podcast with an annual Halloween episode. But here we are. Is this number 5 or 6 of Ghoul Training? If you like Ghoul Trainings, go back and listen to the rest of them. It's 5 or 6 we've done. So let's just go down through the list of a couple. We've got in Genesis 38, Tamar disguises herself as a prostitute. I'm not going to make any comments about current Halloween costumes and how things. I'm not going to make any comments. A prophet.
Why not?
I've said too much. 1 Kings 20, verse 35 through 41. There's a prophet that he put some things. I guess he's wearing a mask of sorts. He covers his eyes with bandages and things and disguises himself.
Beats himself up.
Right. And he disguises himself from King Ahab. And there's a soldier that was watching over him, so he did that. And I think it was our last Ghoul Training we talked about King Saul disguising himself to visit the witch of Endor, which, Daniel, I'll put you on the spot. Do you remember why he had to disguise himself?
Yeah, because he had previously, and rightly so, tried to make sorcery and witchcraft illegal and tried to run them all out. So now he wanted the services of a witch, and so he had to disguise himself so the witch wouldn't know it was him.
Yeah. Jeroboam's wife in 1 Kings 14, 1 through 6, she had to pretend to be someone else to ask a prophet about her sick son. You can read that. King Ahab disguised himself in battle. Do y'all remember how that worked out for him, or didn't maybe?
Not well.
Yeah, he died. That's the spoiler alert.
The stray arrow found its mark.
Yeah. So we see through the scripture, people have been dressing up to disguise themselves for whatever reason.
Like you had mentioned the Gibeonites too.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a big Halloween party, I guess.
It was.
Because they all did. And do you remember why they dressed up or disguised themselves?
Yeah, the Israelites were conquering the Promised Land, and they wanted it to seem as if they were from far away and not a threat to them. And so they were like, hey, look how beat up we're weary travelers and all our stuff is old and dusty. Just make a little pact with us and we'll be cool with each other. And the Israelites failed to consult God, and they foolishly made that pact.
Yeah, well, the Gibeonites had heard what had happened to everybody else. And they're like, that's probably going to happen to us too if we don't come up with a better plan on what those guys had.
Yeah.
I guess that's as far as plans go, it worked.
It did. And you've got like King David feigned madness in order to hide out among the Philistines for a while.
Yeah. And now you got to remember, so we're being lighthearted with this. They weren't trick-or-treating.
They were not.
But they were in costumes trying to
They were
deceive.
tricking.
They were doing the tricking part. I don't know what the treats would have been back then. But there are some spiritual applications. One thing that we had talked about before we started recording is that people, we wear masks today, figuratively. Maybe that is performance, that we're putting on a performance instead of just being our authentic selves. We're trying to impress people. Maybe that is pretending to be okay when we're not.
Why do we do it? Why do people do that?
They want to look strong, would be my guess.
Yeah, maybe.
We're reluctant. Maybe this is a cultural thing. Daniel's been all over the world. But especially American men, we don't want to ask for help from anybody. We want to figure it out and do it ourselves. So we're going to pretend to be okay. Even though life would probably be easier if we needed help, we just asked for help. Is that a cultural thing, or is that men in general?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, there's a certain amount of culture to it, but yeah, I think pride is not. We don't exclusively have pride in America. That's a problem around the world, which is a motivator for deception in a lot of ways, making us seem like something we're not, or like we're okay when we're not, or like we, which I guess what we're kind of driving to now is that hypocrite word that Jesus has so much to say about hypocrites. When that word hypocrite is literally the Greek term for an actor. It's somebody that wears a mask. And so when we're wearing a mask, when we're being an actor, when we're pretending to be someone that we're not, then we're literally being a hypocrite.
Right. Very good. Alan, you got anything?
That was good. I got to think about that for a
Well,
minute.
you had mentioned earlier. Okay, why don't we turn here? You mentioned 2 Corinthians. So let's turn to 2 Corinthians 11, verse 14, right fast. Let me turn there. And this is talking about someone who is a master of disguises.
Satan
Indeed.
disguises himself as an angel of light.
Yeah, that's what it says. No wonder, for even Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. So it's no surprise if his servants also disguise themselves as servants of righteousness. Their end will correspond to their deeds. So what's the application there from these verses? How does that affect us?
Well, the idea of Satan disguising himself as an angel of light and his servants likewise doing that makes us think about all the stories you hear about religious leaders that wind up, being terribly corrupt in some way. They've been pretending to be something that they're absolutely not, and they've been taking advantage of people, or they've been misbehaving in other ways, leading people astray. So that's one thing, but so just because something or somebody appears right from a certain light doesn't mean that they're beyond scrutiny. And Satan has a way of trying to influence people to call bad things good and good things bad.
I read that in the Old Testament once.
And indeed you did. Yeah.
I think we were talking about costumes and disguises and things like this, and we've worked our way all the way to Satan being disguising himself as an angel of light. I think
Master deceptor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To me, what that means, every one of these people that have deceived, the application to me is you need to be alert. Mm-hmm. There are people out there trying to deceive. Satan, his work is in this world still. And so you got to have I'm not saying don't have a healthy distrust of everybody. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying maybe we don't wander through life. Maybe we do it intentionally. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And, Jesus also does say that by their fruits you can know them. Yeah, so one of the ways we can identify what type of person somebody is by the fruit that's being born in their life. And we talked about how you can't fool God. You can sometimes fool each other. How does the saying go? You can fool 100% of the people some of the time, or some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time.
I think I read where Abraham Lincoln said that on Facebook.
Yeah. I think he tweeted that or something.
He X's.
But the psalmist does say in Psalm 139, verse 12, talking about how thoroughly God knows him, and by extension, how thoroughly he knows us. He says in verse 12, even the darkness is not dark to you, talking to God, and the night is as bright as the day. Darkness and light are like to you. Yes, there's no hiding from God. There's never a time that we're alone, or just the idea of trying to deceive God in any way is just absurd.
Okay. Alan, you got anything else? We're nearing the end of our time.
I just did turn to Psalm 139. And where did you end there?
I just read verse 12.
Verse 12, okay. And I would just go one more. That's just verse 13. For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. And I just have a little note there that says, sorry, Joe.
Did you just poke yourself in the eye with your glasses?
No, I hit your.
Where's your clickers
speaker.
anyhow?
Well, those become a problem so I try to, be a good player, a teammate. Verse 13 of Psalm 139, I left him at home or in the car. You even saw and loved me before I was born. These verses illustrate the point of verses 11 and 12. The section begins with 4, showing the connection to the previous by describing a particular dark place where the Lord saw and cared for the singer, namely his mother's womb. So
What were you reading from there?
Psalm 139,
There's a commentary.
Commentary, verse 13, right. God was active as the unformed substance or embryo grew and developed. Indeed, he is the one who formed my inward parts and knitted me together. So even from the beginning, God knows. I mean, we know that's not news to anybody. I mean, that's scripture, that's truth, that's foundational, that's everything. But for me and us, the application is to realize that not to be paranoid, but to be comforted, I think. Yeah. I mean, even as the deceptor is trying to deceive us, God knows what we're up against. God's there for us. We don't have to be something we're not. We don't have to have deceptive traits. And because God knew us even, when we were an embryo. And I know that's kind of elementary, but for me, it's also
comforting. It will help your relationships here on this earth, too, if you're authentic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe a good way to kind of pull this together is the end of Psalm 139, since we're there, and thinking about pulling this mask off, especially in relationship to God, where verse 23 and 24 says, "Search me, O God, and know my hearts, and try me and know my anxious thoughts, and see if there be any hurtful way in me, and lead me in the everlasting way." So instead of hiding from God, inviting God to search me and show me where my faults are. Show me how to be what you want me to be.
Very good.
And it's hard, back to the deceptive part, I guess, as I love getting older. I like the gray hair and trying to let my beard go old, long and gray. And with that comes some experiences. And you get to see people, observe younger people. And I'm around people all the time who are afraid to show any vulnerability, or they sometimes maybe seek to be deceptive and they don't have that awareness that Daniel talked about. They are, full of self. And I shared a little quote earlier that says, a man wrapped up in himself makes a very small package. So it goes back to your authenticity and the fact that if you can be authentic and be real and have awareness about yourself and realize you have faults and all those things, I think you'll live a more full life, I think, and also have more credibility if you're trying to share the good news too. That
absolutely.
I know people who I once worked for a guy. He was a great guy. I worked for him for 6 years. Never heard him apologize for anything ever.
Well, he's always right.
He was always right. That's right. So, and but I mean, it's to the point that that's a deception in and of itself.
So at least you could tell he wasn't a sorry guy.
Yeah, exactly. I knew that was
yikes.
Yeah, zing.
So what are you going to do? You mentioned growing your beard long.
Yeah.
That's going to really affect your jiu-jitsu wrestling. They're going to do a beard choke on you.
No, you can't strike, and you can't hold anything.
Is that what the bad guys on the street think?
Well, you're talking about jiu-jitsu. You're talking about the sport now. On the street it's a little different. You can strike. It's a little different.
Okay. Speaking of beards, Daniel's got something happening.
I saw
over
that.
Here.
I saw that. It shocked me. Are you trying to put on a false face there?
Yeah, a little bit. So when I went to Africa recently, I forgot to take a razor with me, and so it just it grew. And since I was already 3 weeks into it, I thought, well,
why not?
Why not? Let's just see.
See what happens.
See what happens.
The reason why and that looks great, by the way. Don't quit.
Oh, thank you.
Don't quit. But my wife doesn't like it when I'm clean shaven. You know why? She says I look like my mother.
Yeah, I can see how that'd be a problem.
And my mom and her got along fine, for the most part, but still, I'm like, okay, I get it. So,
I've been told, how can I say this nicely?
Say it nice. It's your podcast.
I look like an idiot with any sort of facial hair.
No.
We'll say, that's what I've been told.
No,
so
they're wrong.
You won't see me with facial hair.
Come on, try it. It's No Shave November's coming up, so come on, try it.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
That's true. Anyhow, that's the end, guys. Daniel, can you take us?
All right.
Can you take us home?
Dear listener, we want to encourage you to take off that mask and treat the world to what a great person you really are and your authentic self. Thank you for letting us be a part of your spiritual diet today and celebrating Ghoul Training with us or experiencing it with us. I don't know, cringing. I don't know what you did.
Letting it happen to your ears, whatever.
Letting it happen. That's right. So thank you for that, and we want to thank our special in studio guests, the extra soul training players.
We should name them.
Go ahead and name them.
We should name them. One of them was my lovely bride, and I was proud of her. She did a great job. So the narrator was my wife, Allison, and then we had Laura, and we had Robbie was our Laban, was Robbie.
Right.
Laura was Rebecca.
Laura, for those of you that don't know, is the wife of our frequent guest, Bart.
Yeah, and the end of the show. Bart always sends us home at the very end.
That's right. So with that in mind, let's hear from Bart now. And we want to thank, again, the elders for making soul training possible. Until next time, on behalf of Alan and Joe, I'm Daniel. Keep soul training.
Happy birthday, Coach Saban.
So let's do it again. Listen up and let the sun shine in. We've got
Ghoul Training. Because all ghouls matter.
To learn more, you can email us at soultrainingpodcast@gmail.com, or you can write to us, P.O. Box 503, Glasgow, Kentucky, 42142. That's Soul Training.